Careful, man.
Man, brother.
You're confident you can handle anything. That was powerful, Chad.
Thank you, brother.
I'll answer one more of the questions. That was awesome, Chad. And then let's get some live people in here. Give everyone an opportunity. I'm good on time. So the proverbial question is, how do I find someone wants to know how they find their passion. I spent a lot of time talking to my wife about this, and this is sort of like where we net out. I think passion, you find your passion. First thing I do is I like to ask myself, what is it that I'm good at? What do I like to do? And I think you find your passion at the intersection of these three things. What it is you like to do, what you're good at, and providing a service or product that helps people. So we kind of found our passion. We love doing this. We're trying to get as good as we can at it, and we hope it's providing value. It's more than $60 in value for everybody. And then if those things happen, you've really found your purpose. So a good way to think about it for anybody struggling is to start with, like, what do I love to do? Do I love sales? Do I love speaking? Do I love being an employee and helping people? Everybody is different and wired differently. What am I good at? And if you marry that with what you like to do, with something that helps people, you've really found your purpose and your passion. When I was 22, I loved sports and I loved music, and I married those two things, and I wrote a theme song for the New York Knicks. And I was like, wow, I love this. I'm in the sports world and music world. People are reacting to this song, and it led to a business where I wrote theme songs for pro sports teams and ended up ultimately selling that company. So that's a good place to start. All right, Kev, let's open this up. This will be fun. We'll ask that everybody limit this to one question. And hold on, I want to get one thing, Kevin, before you do this.
All right.
Oh, man, here we go.
No. I wanted to get my calendar because everybody's asking questions about this calendar. I'll talk about this at the end. You don't have to ask about it. I'll clarify. There's a lot of stuff, like you get BACC and BYLR. That's at the end. We'll talk about it pretty much. Thank you. I like your shirt.
Thanks. What's up, everybody? All right, I see like 21 hands up, so.
Hold on. I met Kevin on the internet.
Yes.
I met Kevin on the internet.
We came out randomly.
He won a contest for a thing that we did, Mark and I did called We Do Hard Stuff or something. And he won a trip to the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know if you know this, Chad. To a Hawks game. He sat next to me, and the Hawks went on a winning streak. We won like 8 games in a row.
Made the playoffs.
I told him, I'm like, Kevin, you're hired, man. Hey, Kevin, am I right or wrong?
100%. They went on a winning streak. They made the playoffs. It was crazy.
I was like, Kevin, you're watching. We became great friends. And this is my guy, man. Love Kevin. He is the best.
He really is, man.
You actually thought about bringing me down. You're like, I don't know, man. We're in the playoffs. Like, I'm going to have to bring you back. Keep this winning streak going up.
Yeah.
And then the next day, actually on the way home, you were like, Kev, do you run? And I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm not a runner, but I can get it done. Like, I'll show up. And he's like, all right. He's like,
5 a.m.
Yeah, he's like, come by in the morning, Mark and I are going to go for a run. And we ended up doing 3 miles and 1 million burpees. And I was dead. And I felt
you weren't dead, you were hired.
Yep. But
I finally figured out how to see this chat room after a month. I'm totally distracted now.
That was your. All right, cool. All right, so the first person we're bringing in I see is Eleni. Eleni, we're live with Mark, Jesse, and Chad.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is awesome, man.
I can't believe a human figured this out. If you gave us $50 billion in 1,000 years, we could never create this.
That's the truth.
Hey,
all right. Hello. Can y'all hear me?
We got you loud and clear. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you all. My original question was answered about Chad and the not giving pain a voice, but now I'd also like to know, how do you handle when people are not, obviously we're all in here because we're committed to growth. We want to live our best lives, whatever that means for each of us. how do you handle it when people very close to you, like immediate family members, are not on the same path? Like you can, because some friends I had in my past are not friends in my future, and not for negative reasons. They're good humans, but I know I need to be around people that are on a growth curve as well. But like when it's my brother and my sister-in-law that are like, why the hell are you doing that? Why do you keep doing stuff? Have you guys experienced that? If so, how do you deal with it?
We all experience it. And I'm going to start by saying it's frustrating. But for me, and especially as a parent, Mark and I have kids, I think it's important to understand and recognize that, especially with our kids, but even our immediate family and friends, they're on their own journey. And they make their own decisions. And, I used to play basketball till midnight every day in my backyard, and my son plays Fortnite, and it drives me crazy. But then I have to realize, like, my son is on his own journey. I can show him and encourage him, but he's not me. And my friends and my sister and my brother, they're not me. So all I can do is be the best version of myself. And I have vices and make mistakes just like everybody. But I try to include those close to me in those conversations. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I got from it. This is what I did last week. Meet Chad, Mark, and I, we're doing this thing, and here's why, and here's what it is. I try to share that, and it's super infectious. It's super infectious and contagious. So my solution is make it contagious, make it infectious, and hope they join, but recognize they're on their own journey.
Yeah.
You guys deal with that?
Yeah, to add to that, I've experienced that myself, and I think one of the things is you just have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself that, you might have a best friend, but eventually your lives might change, and your things that you're passionate about might change, and there's nothing, no ill will against anybody, but you just realize that, hey, you're on your journey, I'm on my journey, I wish you well, but I have to do what's best for me. And I think it gets harder when it becomes family, because family, it's hard to break away from family. And the only thing you can do with family, I would suggest, is just be honest with them as well. And just be like, this is what I'm passionate about. And if they don't want to come along, you're not going to stop being their family member, but they know where you're coming from, and just being upfront and honest about a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll just put my 2 cents in real quick, Eleni. I've seen this play out in my family, close family relationships, and had to deal with these problems, and watch it play out in the lives of people I love throughout my life. So the only thing that I'll tell you is, if I told you that you were very unique and special for being the way that you are, would you believe me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, you are. Okay. You are. Like, you're very unique and special, and for being who you are and the way you are, that can sometimes feel like a burden, but it's not. It's your opportunity to lead. So, you are unique, you're special, and when you see other people around you that you can't push out of your life because they're part of your life from now on, just understand that that's an opportunity for you to be a leader. And how do we lead? We lead by example. So when I have those relationships, it drives me to be better in my own life and in my own walk. It drives me to lead by example. And that's what I take out of that.
Real quick, Chad and Mark, Lincoln, just show me. Just want to show you.
I like that, Lincoln. The tooth is gone, man.
Lincoln, what are we going through? 30 days of, look at everybody. Tell them, what are we going through? 30 days of what?
Excellence.
Excellence. Good night.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Elaine. All right, next we have Paul. Paul, you are live.
Devil House.
Yo, what's up, my friends?
How are you, man?
I am outstanding. I do have a question, but first I do have to give a shout out to Kevin, because I don't think everybody knows that Kevin is the glue for all we do, and he puts in so much, and maybe everyone doesn't understand what Kevin does for this family. He truly is an awesome human being, and I have to say that. So my question really is for Chad. Chad, you talked about being in the water at the SEAL teams and saying, okay, I accepted it was going to be cold, and that made it easier. I'm giving you the God's honest truth. I have 2 children. I took my first cold shower today, and I said, all right, Chad said just accept you're going to be cold, and you'll get through this. Chad, I was effing freezing. All right? So can you give me the next level? I mean, I went in with the mindset. I lived with Jesse for a couple of years. I eat, breathe this stuff daily. I went in and said, you're going to be cold, man. Just make it cold. Well, I was still cold.
Yeah, no doubt, Paul, and for sure, and I'll agree with you. When I was laying in the Pacific Ocean, even though I had accepted the cold for what it is, I was still physically experiencing what it was like to be cold. I still got hypothermic, all those things physiologically still happened, right? The difference is the main thing the main thing I want you to understand is, in that situation for me, the whole point in accepting the cold was to free up the energy that I had been using to fight against it. So that was the point. By accepting the cold, it didn't mean that I wasn't standing there jackhammering. I mean, literally shivering so bad I looked like a jackhammer. We don't even call it shivering. All right. That still happened, but it didn't have control over me, right? Because I had accepted it. I was no longer using all my energy to focus on how miserable that cold was making me feel. And that was the important part for me, okay? But yeah, the cold still happens. And now I want you to understand too, Paul, that took a while for me to get to that point, okay? So if you continue to press forward in your journey with the cold water, in your relationship with the cold water, you're going to come to a point that you come to a true acceptance of it, and you will transcend it. You will still feel cold, but you'll transcend it. And I know Jesse and Mark have a lot of great experience with cold water. I'd like to hear one of them maybe chime in real quick if you guys got anything.
I'll say one thing real quick. Like you said, Chad, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like, there's been times where Jesse and I get in the cold plunge at this house for like 4 weeks straight, and at the end of it, it's really easy. But then we'll take 2 months off from doing it, and when we get back into it, it's harder. So you got to repetitiously continue doing it, and it gets easier. Your body is an amazing machine. Your body will figure out, I'm not going to die. It's just my mind telling me how cold I am. And like you said, Chad, the energy that you're using to fight against it is just wearing you out even more. So just kind of go with it. It makes it easier the more you do it.
Yeah, Mark and I lived with Wim Hof for a week. Wim is the ice man. He's the master of cold water and cold water therapy. We will get him or someone one of his coaches into 30 Days of Excellence, if not next month, one of the months. That's something we all learn. And I really look forward to his book. I've been a big fan of his for a while. And when we went to Poland, I said to him, Wim, what do you think about when you go in cold water? Do you say, I've heard techniques where people imagine a warm balloon around their heart that keeps their vitals warm, and they just visualize that every time they breathe in, the balloon is just getting warmer, and all these different strategies. And then he said to me that thinking about it and techniques like that are about 16-17% of the battle. He said the other 80% is not thinking and letting the body do what the body does. The body knows how to respond.
I hear his voice now.
Yeah, let the body do what the body knows how to do. But if I could just add on it, I feel it's the same way with food. Just to go full circle what we talked about. The body, when you eat food, your body has one job. Either the food it's going to take the nutrients that it can use, all the goodness, and it's going to spread it to all your cells and throughout your body, or it's going to recognize something is no good, and it's going to do everything in your body's power to eliminate it and get it out of the body. Okay? Your body knows what to do. Chad, correct me if I'm wrong. You've gotten a cut on your arm. The body gets a scab, the scab falls off, and a brand new layer of skin comes like you've never had the injury before. You didn't do anything. Your body knows what to do. When we mess that up and get in the way of the body, talking ourselves out of it, we can't do it, we're scared, fighting it, putting bad things in our body that our body now has to work to get out of, it uses up all this energy instead of letting it just do its job. So as it relates to food, you eat clean, organic fruits and vegetables, your body's going to take it, boom, no energy, it's easy, and it frees you up for this incredibly vibrant life because it's not like I don't know what to do with licorice. I'm being invaded by processed foods that I don't know what to do. Now you might get sick. You might get the flu. You might get this stuff. But if you let your body do what it does, it can do amazing things. So Whip was like, don't think. Your body knows what to do. Chad said to me, I said, Chad, how do I deal with the cold before I went to Poland? He goes, you surrender. Surrender. Don't fight it. When I had hypothermia, what'd you say to me? Relax. Let your body knows what to do, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Love all you guys. Really do.
Thank you, Paul. We love you, brother.
Yeah, man. Paul was an original BYLR member and now a coach of the Big Ass Calendar Club, the ACC. So he's great.
Awesome.
All right. Let's keep it rolling. We have, next up, we have Marisol. Marisol, you were live with the guys.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Hi, everyone.
Marisol.
Hi. So I wanted to ask you, basically, what's the number one mindset or strategy that you may give us to make a lot of money in a short period of time? It's not about greed. I really want to give my kids a house with a backyard so they can play in the backyard. I live in an apartment in Miami. It's very expensive to own a house. And one of my dreams is for them to have a house that they can run around and play. And given the situation that we're in right now with COVID-19 and everything, I don't want to get into a mortgage and then, and then something might happen. So I really want to be able to buy a house and pay it off. So, yes.
That's a great question. And by no means do you need to explain yourself. It's great. It's awesome making money. It's cool. It's a reward for what we do, right? There's no greed there. I'll give you my 2 cents on it. First of all, I don't have a lot of wealth, but I make more money right now than I have ever made in my whole life. And all I do every day is the things that I love and that I'm passionate about. So all I did is I took and I looked at myself I looked at myself and I said, really, truly, what am I doing? What do I love to do? What would I do? What would I pay to do? Okay? And I looked at those things and I have found a way to make money doing the things that I absolutely love to do and that I have been doing for years and years and years. So for me, the main key for me to reaching the point that I am today, and making more money than I've ever made in my life, is literally just focusing on really pushing forward into the passions that I have had in place for years and years, really focusing on developing those passions, chasing them, and learning how to share those passions with other people. That's what's led me to the position that I'm in today. I'm so thankful. It literally feels like I'm living in a dream some days, but it's learning how to share my passions with the people who are hungry to learn them.
So I want to just add to that. you know, people like you, when you came on, you were trying to explain yourself, like you don't want to come off as being greedy, but there's no reason, there's nothing bad about wanting money. It's just your intention about wanting it. And I'm going to share a story with you that with Jesse, he might not even remember this. When we first started training, and this is before I had kids, he was like, before he made a lot of money, the one thing that he wanted to make money for was to be able to take his family on vacation anywhere in the world. And I thought to myself, before I met Jesse, you see all these people with money on TV, you see all this flashy stuff. I was like, you want to take people on vacation? And I didn't get it. When I had kids, I understood that was very, very important. So your intentions behind wanting money is the most important thing. It's not bad to want money because money's going to give you more time to do the things you enjoy. And from what I heard you say, you want to give your kids a pool to play in. You want to, you know, make your family's life better. So that's fine. That's fine and well. So I just think your intentions matter more than, you know, the fact that you want money.
I would say two things. You also mentioned that you don't want to have a mortgage or anything like that, and I get that. I will say this is a good time to have a mortgage because interest rates are so low. So it offers a good opportunity. But I think a couple of things. I don't know. I wish I knew a way to make money really fast. I've never been good at that. I've always been good at the long game. In fact, for me personally, until Marquis Jet, I never really made money until I sold a company. I was like, I made $30,000 a year, $35,000 a year, and then built value in a company that I sold and then got a windfall. But I never really made money, which is just really interesting. And even at Marquis Jet, we were always reinvesting it until we were making enough that we could take some off. It took a long time. I would say two things. One is to think backwards. I like to think backwards. Like, okay, what do I need to get a house? How much money? I would write it down. I would visualize it, and then I would make a plan around that. Let's say I needed $100 grand. Okay, you know, now it becomes real. The house goal shifted to a $100,000 goal, and well, how do I do that? How long will it take me? Do I need to work another job? I would just everything would go through my head, but the goal would be around thinking backwards to what I need and then backing in it. The way I look at any goal, buying a house, running a 100-mile race, I start at the end. I'm signing the documents, but okay, I see that. What steps do I have to take now in reverse order to make it happen? And then the last thing I would say is, while the house isn't in your possession now, there's a lot of things that you can do to live like you had a house or create amazing memories with your kids. And don't let the dream of the house shortchange you and your relationship with your kids over the things that you can do. You know, and I might have shared this story, but I remember when I was living in New York, I would run every day up the East Side River to Harlem. And when I got to like 120th Street, every Saturday there was a guy with a little boom box and an antenna, a hanger jacked into the antenna to get reception. He was fishing with his son. And I don't want to make any judgments, but he didn't seem super wealthy, dirty hands from handwork, with his kids not well dressed in a boombox that looked like he had a jacket. The guy was the happiest guy I ever saw, fishing with his kid. He would welcome me and, you know, was like, I look forward to seeing him on my run. He remembered me, always smiling. And, you know, he was fishing with his son in the Hudson River. So while this dream happens, and it will happen if you believe it and want it to happen, don't shortchange the relationship with your kids and what you could be doing to create amazing memories. I don't know, man. We've had some great memories. Me, you, Mark, me, you, and Chad. What was the entry fee to the Mid-State Mile?
$25.
Yeah, I mean, we slept in a car, right?
Yeah.
We slept in an RV, but like people were in tents. Yeah. Mark, we went to Mount Washington. What did it cost to park there? $18. Yeah. Like, you know, so like we get our memories from things that are public, open to the public. Not because I sold the company to Buffett, because I chose to register for a race that was $40.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate what you're doing with us here.
Thank you.
Thank you for the great question. All right. I wouldn't bring
I hate these messages, man. I just got to speak up. I have another pain point. I hate these messages and these pictures of people that Sarah's going to get mad at me again. I can't help it. With jet planes and airplanes and fast schemes and followers and all this stuff, man. And like telling anybody, no, not everybody can have it. It doesn't work like that. And if you don't have it, it doesn't mean you're not successful. There's other ways. I don't like the message of that people, some are putting out there about, Rolexes and Mercedes and all this stuff, man. Because it's not the answer. It's great if you want to get it and you can afford it, but not at the expense of experiences and not having pressure of debt. I don't like it, man.
Ground level, man. Ground level.
Like my friend Chad is saying, the other Chad, it's a consumer. What did you say, Chad? Right in the text that you like. I love your saying. It's being a whatever.
Being a contributor, not a consumer.
Yeah, I love that.
Right. Take another couple more.